that you can't trade stocks in and get. You can't use a credit card and get. You can have an American Express black card and you cannot buy it. You can own property all over the world and still cannot access it. To have peace,
Thank you, Lord.
to have peace. It's better than riches, it's better than fame, it's better than fortune, it's better than being good looking, it's better than anything you wanted to be in your life. I know great looking people that committed suicide. I know multi-billionaires that jumped off the top of a building they owned. I know people who own all kinds of stocks and drank themselves to death because they couldn't find peace. I think about great entertainers like Michael Jackson. And all of that money and all of that wealth and all that he had, he'd have traded all of it just to go to sleep at night.
Jesus.
No wonder when the storm was flashing and the lightning was rolling, and Peter had exhausted all of his expertise trying to manage a storm that suddenly had become unmanageable. Finally, in desperation, I don't know why it takes us so long to turn to God. Finally, after he tried all the tricks of the trade and still couldn't control the boat, he finally goes down to the bow of the ship where Jesus is asleep on a pillow. That should have been a big hint to him that nothing in the disruption had disturbed Jesus. It must have been that Jesus knew that no lightning, no thunder, no wind, no wave, no water could hinder his purpose. Imagine sleeping through a hurricane. And yet the God who was so asleep that the hurricane couldn't wake him, when Peter cried out, he woke right up. That's the God we serve, who is so attent to your voice that it affects him greater than thunder and lightning. And Peter comes down there and says, Lord, carest thou not that we perish? How can you lie there asleep? Lord, don't you know about COVID-19? Don't you know my job is shut down? Don't you know my rent is due the first of the month? Don't you know my mama's in the hospital? It won't let me even go in this here. Carest thou not that we perish? How can you just lay there and be asleep? We get mad at God when he doesn't respond to us in the way that we expected him to respond. How can you lie there and sleep? Jesus woke up with sleep in his eye. Wiped the sleep out of his eye. Cleared his throat. Walked up to the bow of the ship whispering, oh, ye of little faith. And against all of that noise, he said, peace, be still. And when he said peace, the winds were slain in the spirit, and the waves lay prostrate on the floor. And Peter is aghast because he has completely underestimated what he had with him. He, like the gentleman that Laurie referred to, thought that what do these words matter? It mattered a whole lot. It calmed the raging sea. That's the peace that comes with having Jesus on the boat. I am not saying that if you have Jesus on the boat, you won't have storms. I wish I could say that. I'm not saying that if you have Jesus on the boat, you won't lose your mom. I lost mine. You won't lose your dad. I lost mine. I'm not saying that you won't go through anything that hurts, it's painful, that assaults your soul on levels that seem so unfair. But I am saying without the shadow of a doubt that if Jesus is on your boat, if you prayed that prayer with me a few minutes ago, you just took a passenger on board that will ride the waves with you. And when he's had enough, he can bring it to a quick and immediate end. And the Bible says that they arrived at their destination. Doesn't even mention that they were late. Because God will get you exactly where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. And none of hellhounds barking, demons warring, witches and warlocks casting spells, doing whatever they want to do, not even COVID-19, can stop your ship of destiny of landing exactly where it's supposed to land, just in the nick of time. If you don't get anything else out of this broadcast, if you paid all of it no attention at all, if I said things you didn't even understand at all, if you can just grasp peace, then that it is well resonates with you. And if it's well with your soul, it's going to be well with your money. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health as your soul does prosper. If it's well with your soul, it's going to be well with your body. It's going to be well with your finances. It's going to be well. That wellness starts in here and works out to every area of your life, even your children, even that one that's not speaking to you. If you stop fussing back and forth and trying to prove you're right and just walk in peace, the peace that's in you will show up outside of you. That's what I want you to get out of this. That's what I want you to have. I leave you with something that money cannot buy, beauty cannot buy, celebrity status can't buy it. You got something. You're absolutely rich. I mean, filthy rich. Because you have the peace of God that passes all understanding. May that peace be with you and stay with you and rock you to sleep tonight and wake you up like your mama did with a kiss on your cheek early in the morning to the smell of breakfast. Weeping may endure for a night, but my friend, joy is coming. I don't care what you saw in the news. Joy is coming.